Hello and welcome to CIOtv. I'm your host, Mike Stockwell, and today we're joined by Paul Cash with Google in Atlanta, Georgia. Hey, Paul, welcome to the show.
Hey, Mike, thanks for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. I hope you're having a great day. I know we're having a great day here at CIOtv. And, again, I appreciate you joining us on the show today to talk a little bit about yourself and about Google. I'd have to think that everyone is very familiar, household name of Google, but can you talk a little bit specifically about the areas that you work within Google?
Yeah, sure, no problem. At the moment, I work in the cloud division within networking. So main thing I'm doing is working in the machine learning space. So I'm sort of in there. I run programs for machine learning, which they allow scientists and medical companies, especially with COVID recently, to split down the actual work and use our computing power to actually help them supplement theirs. So I'm in the background building out more power and giving it more to the Google Cloud and emphasizing that to our customers and supporting them and making sure they have the ability to expand and move forward, because that's the biggest challenge at the moment is obviously people want more compute but they don't want more expense. So we try to expand the cloud division for them and help them move forward.
Yeah, that's great. That makes complete and total sense. So, in your space, I have to imagine that it's a very competitive landscape with some of the other hyperscalers. Some of the other big names out there. What would you say is a competitive differentiator for you at Google?
Well, the good thing being at Google is that I've worked for one of the competitors before as well. So what I see is the difference between us and our competitors is Google is very, very customer focused. And the idea is that we're coming up with initiatives that are more focused around what the customer wants than what is good for the business sometimes, if that makes sense, because we will do niche things to help out the customers and drive that forward and to give them the opportunity to interact with us and talk to our teams and say, hey, have you thought about this? And we take that on board and run with it.
Awesome. So, how long have you been working with Google?
I've been here a year and a half now, which has been a very interesting year and a half. I joined last year, part of the way through COVID, and obviously working away at home, going into the offices in Atlanta, and expanding my horizons within Google, which is it's always interesting to learn what other teams needed and what we can do to help charities, etc., like that. So we do a lot of work.
Awesome. So you started during the pandemic. What can you talk a little bit about what you were doing prior that led you to this opportunity within Google, and then maybe if you can share with our viewers as well what got you started in IT?
Yeah, sure, no problem. Well, tell you what, I'll go from the beginning forward, make it easier. So, what got me started in IT is you might gather my accent is not from here in the US. That's why
Right.
used to have a joke with my teams. I used to say I'm from the south of England, not from the south of the US, obviously. But yes, I got started in IT. Actually, I took one of the first qualifications in England in IT. Then I left. I joined Her Majesty's Army and I got trained as a forward observer in missile launch systems and stuff like that. So really interesting stuff and learning that. And I realized when I left the army that I still had a hunger for IT. My dad recommended me going to the university. I went to the university. I wrote a thesis. I got into my course and basically developed my way up. My first job coming out was working for one of the railroads over there as basically just an IT help desk person. I learned all the way from answering the phones, resetting the passwords, to running cable through the roofs of some of our train stations over there. Every job you can think, I've learned from the ground up, and that's what gives me a good IT background. And that led me through to moving into program, project management, etc., like that, and those qualifications. From there, lucky enough, I found a beautiful wife who's American, and we moved over here because I can work anywhere in the world, and I have worked anywhere in the world. And whilst over here, I got the opportunity to go and work for Amazon, which was one of the competitors, for AWS, and then I worked for OpsTech IT. So I worked in both sides of their division, obviously just the cloud division and then in the operations. And I've expanded my career through that by learning leadership, management style, and also bringing some of the best skills I had in Europe over here to help our teams and expand the people we work with, which is one of the things I love doing. I love coaching and helping people. I've helped a lot of people get roles in Amazon and Google. It's good to actually help other people.
Well, that is an outstanding, very well-rounded background, and it is not surprising that you're so successful in the role that you're in today. And again, I can't thank you enough for joining us today on CIOtv. And to all our viewers out there, that's a wrap. Paul Cash with Google, based in Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you so much for your time. We'll catch you on the next episode of CIOtv. Thank you.